Hi again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Around the Town with Chuck. My name is Chuck Guglielmo, a weekly interview show where we talk with interesting people around the community. And today, my guests are who we had before the baseball season started, and now we have them again today because of the postseason. That's Bill Kehoe, longtime Indians fan, goes to Arizona how many years now?
14, I believe.
14, and then you also went to Florida for another.
Florida for 5 or 6.
Yep, and I think you said you like Arizona better than Florida.
Yeah, definitely Arizona's better.
And we've got Mike Greco here, the editor of the Star Beacon. How's it going, Mike?
Good, good.
Good. Catching up with all the high school sports
Yes,
going on and everything?
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on with high school, but always willing to talk baseball.
Yep. And you had a nice article in the paper the other day about the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yes, they're finally getting into some good competition with Penn State on Saturday. So we'll
Big game.
yeah we'll see how far they've come.
We're here to talk about the Indians, but I would like to get your pick on that game. Do you think Ohio State will win?
I do think they'll win. I think they're more talented than Penn State. It's a matter of playing there. It's a tough place to play. I've covered 3 or 4 games there. It's a whiteout. Literally, that press box shakes when it gets really loud there. It's a really difficult place to play. Haskins has done well. He's not played in that type of environment quite yet. So if they can kind of manage that environment, they're still a relatively young team, and but they're just so deep at every position. And if they can get hits on McSorley, I think they have a good chance of winning. We were talking about this today at work, that Nittany Lions had a big lead on Ohio State last year, and Ohio State had to come back and round it. Yeah, they did. And then Ohio State won by 1 point, 39-38. And that's with Barkley. That's when they had Barkley. I think he might have returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown, if I can recall, last year. But they've had their struggles too this year. They barely beat Appalachian State, and they've had some tough ones. They had a pull away to beat Pitt in the second half. So they've had their struggles. So we'll see what happens.
Well, the three of us are all excited about the Cleveland Indians once again returning to October baseball. We already know they will be playing the Houston Astros beginning on October 5th. But before we talk about the postseason, let's talk a little bit about the current season, which only has about 5 games to go. We're taping this show here on Wednesday, September 26th. Bill, start with you. As the season went along, what was the most impressive thing you saw from the Indians this year?
Consistency, maybe. Jose Ramirez's hustle, although he's on a little bit of a downslide, but just amazing his get to second base mentality as soon as he hits the ball. It's just it was pretty neat to watch. I just think there's a good chemistry on this team.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned Jose Ramirez in the slide that he's in about a month long, really, maybe even a little longer than a month now. Does that concern you?
No. The playoffs are a whole different. Everything just goes out the window when the playoffs come. I'm hoping I'm sure he'll figure it out. Doesn't concern me. There's guys are heating up now, but once October rolls around, you don't know who the star is going to be and who the GOAT's going to be.
Right now, this week, we need to get through this week and keep everybody healthy is the main thing. Mike, what about you? What's been the most impressive thing? I know you've been to quite a few games as well.
Just the way they've had different people step up. They've had some people with slides, as Jose, being one, and different people have gone through ruts during the season, but they've had other guys, just step up. Somebody like a Greg Allen, who, may have not been a part of the team this year, but he had a game-winning hit the other night against Boston. He had a game-winning hit against Houston earlier this year. Great around the bases with his speed.
Some great defensive plays, especially
plays.
In Boston.
Right, exactly. So they've had a guy like him step up when maybe somebody else hasn't. So just players like that have kind of filled their role, and like Bill said, chemistry on this team is really, really good.
Let me throw some other things that I found that were most impressive and see what you guys think. Kind of like, well, I kind of expected that, or it kind of surprised you. Start with you, Bill. How about 5 of the starting pitchers having double-digit wins?
Amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is when you think about it. I didn't anticipate that. Clevenger has kind of gone from mediocre to a step above, right where he's at, like almost at Carrasco's level,
Right.
Except maybe another year under his belt. But that's been pretty amazing. And Bieber came from nowhere.
Yeah.
And
It's kind of like we probably all 3 of us figured, well, we know 3 starting pitchers for sure should have double-digit wins. Clevenger possibly, but Bieber, like Bill says, he's come out of nowhere.
right, and
I think a lot of teams wanted him come in late July.
Yeah.
Bauer, let's hope he's healthy enough to go.
He says he's ready to go, but he said he was ready to go when he got injured.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need a guy like that. You really.
Oh, you do.
Absolutely, yeah.
You do. He's really good. What about this one, Mike? Kluber winning 20 games for the first time in his career.
That's kind of amazing when you're considering what he's done the last few years, that he hadn't won 20, and he's had a great season, but you really don't think he's had a great season. I mean, he's been consistent, but he's also gotten roughed up, a couple times. I think in St. Louis he lasted an inning and a third.
The home run ball seems to get him every now
and
and then.
he's had a couple rough outings, but then you look up and he's got 20 wins, and he gives you 7-8 innings each time out, and that's what you're looking for from your ace. It is kind of amazing that he's going to win 20 games, but probably not win the Cy Young this year.
Yeah.
So that's kind of incredible.
It is incredible, and you think Blake Snell's going to win that?
I would think Snell has
Despite the fact his innings aren't at 200.
Yeah, I would think so.
Do you
But,
agree with that?
I do.
Yeah, I do
without
too.
Snell, Tampa is nothing.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I agree with that. Bill, another one on the most impressive list. You already talked about Trevor Bauer, but his ERA is like 2.36 or something like that. Is that impressive to you? Did you think it would ever be that low,
No,
especially in the American League?
especially with the balls flying out of the park,
Yeah.
which I get upset because the game of baseball is changing. It's not like the 70s when we watched it,
Oh yeah,
or 60s as little kids. I mean, these balls are flying out, and I hate. It's almost like they're ruining the game with live balls, live bats. I mean, I don't like what's going on, but low ERA like that is pretty impressive.
yeah,
Yeah.
it certainly is.
Yep.
Mike, what about Jan Gomes' big offensive year? 16 homers, about 50 RBIs, hitting around 260.
Yeah, I remember 2 years ago, we were talking maybe Roberto Perez is ready to step in and take over for Gomes. And now Perez he's way in the rearview mirror,
Yeah.
and Gomes is planted this year at least as catcher. And when we were talking about trading Mejia to the Padres, maybe he was the catcher in waiting for Gomes, but at the time you had to make the trade if you wanted to get some bullpen help. You had to trade Mejia, and then with Gomes. If he falters, you figure it out later. So, Gomes is your man right now. Perez is, a serviceable backup, and you go with who you have.
The thing about Perez, though, in the postseason, he seems to be a better performer in the postseason.
Yeah, he does. He does.
At least with the long ball.
Yeah, let's hope he can duplicate what he did in 2016.
Yeah. Bill, another on the most impressive list I came up with, how about Brantley staying healthy? Did you think he would stay healthy all season long?
Did anybody? That's why I'm not a good GM, because I wouldn't have signed him. But look at what's happened.
Yeah, I agreed. I wouldn't have either. Not for that amount of money.
No.
No.
He's been your best outfielder.
Yeah.
Where would we be without him?
Yeah, and you talked earlier about consistency. He's probably been the most consistent
Yeah.
Indians player.
Yeah.
I think he had maybe about a 10-day stint
And
there where
his
he
whole
didn't do
career
well.
has been consistent when he played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hope he comes back next year. I mean, I think he owes the
We're going to
Cleveland
save that for a
fans.
little bit later in the program.
Yeah.
And one other thing I got on the most impressive list here, Mike, did you think they would have 3 players on the team with 30 or more homers?
No, I didn't. That's with Edwin, you kind of expected it, but Lindor, yeah, you always knew he had that potential, but you figure leadoff hitter, what.
Sure.
Not many leadoff hitters are going to get 30. So,
Exactly.
But with Brantley, you're not thinking that at all.
Yeah.
He's arguably your MVP this year. So I would say Lindor was probably the biggest surprise, just from the standpoint of being a leadoff hitter.
And he wanted to hit leadoff.
Yeah, and it certainly has paid off.
Okay, Bill, since you started with the most impressive, now we're going to have you start with what was the most disappointing thing this year?
Disappointing thing with the Tribe?
Yeah. Anything come to mind? Any individual or anything team-wise that was a little bit under par?
Right off the top of my head, I can't think of
Okay,
anything.
think
I'm sure
about
there
it.
is.
No, yeah, I got a few things. Mike, what about you?
I still think the bullpen is still a little unsettled in certain areas. Otero, he's kind of your Brian Shaw of this year, kind of your guy who gives up key runs in key spots, and it's a matter of working, getting Simber involved, and the Miller Allen hand scenario. How's that going to play out in the postseason? I'm not saying that's disappointing, but how that's going to play out, and they're finally getting that into shape. But some of those spots are still a little unsettled.
Yeah, you mentioned Otero giving up the home run ball, kind of like Bill says. Home runs are flying out like crazy.
Yeah, but other than that, there wasn't a lot of disappointing. I mean, they went through stretches where you wondered if this team was going to even win a division. Midway through the season, and then the break, and then fortunately they've gotten hot at the right time, which is now. So hopefully that will propel them in the postseason.
I came up with some things. See what you guys think were disappointing. How about Cody Allen's struggles, Bill? I mean, it was about a stretch, 5 weeks there where he was coming in and giving up the home
Look at
run ball.
Jose's struggles.
Who?
Jose's right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different when you're an offensive player versus a pitcher.
Yeah.
Everybody expects a pitcher to march out there every night and strike everybody out. Then, here comes Allen.
Some
They're humans.
fans, when I was at a game, when he was coming in, they were saying, "Here comes Brian Shaw."
Yeah, right. Both of them, Shaw and Allen.
Yeah.
But they got us to the postseason.
Yeah.
And for critical games, they won the games for us.
Yeah, and he seems to have turned the corner here in the last month or so.
It's just such a high profile spot.
Yeah, right.
That when it does happen, it's magnified by 1,000.
Right.
How about the Andrew Miller injuries? Was that kind of disappointing that he went through 2 or 3 of them during the year?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure. Yeah. I mean, it's disappointing that he got hurt. Certainly. Hopefully it's done and he can return to his 2016 form as well. But with injuries, you never know. You never know if they're going to be healthy, if they're injury prone forever. So I guess we'll wait and see on that one.
Mm-hmm. Bill, what about Josh Tomlin? Was he disappointing for you this year?
I hate to say it, but he was.
Yeah.
I mean,
You kind of feel sorry for the guy
Yeah, you do.
You do.
Yeah, you do.
because he's been there the longest
Yeah.
and
nice country boy, but
nice country boy. But
I'm betting he's on that playoff roster.
well, we're going to get to that, Bill. You keep jumping ahead of me.
Yeah, it could be.
You think he's
I
going to
think
be on yours?
I'm basing it on Francona.
Okay.
He's that type
Loyal.
of manager.
Loyal.
I mean, dude, last year we talked about Brantley being added, and he had about 10 at bats going into the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Nobody
true.
expected
Right.
that.
Right. How about the health of the outfield? Was that disappointing this year to see so many outfielders going down?
Yeah, that was disappointing. But the good news is we had guys step up.
Yeah, that's true. You
so,
mentioned one
yeah.
of them in Greg Allen.
Zimmer went down. So Allen steps up. Chisenhall, you just don't know if this guy is ever going to play again. Once you get that.
I don't think not with the Indians.
Yeah, once you get
He's a
that
free agent too.
Right, once you get that injury bug,
Yeah.
you never know. So they've kind of managed. Geyer, he's been a valuable addition to this team.
Even he spent a little time on the disabled
Yeah,
list.
so they've kind of weathered the storm in the outfield and kind of patchworked it together. So, yeah, the injuries were disappointing, but they've kind of made it work.
I think it's kind of hats off to the front office.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
absolutely.
They grabbed Milky Cabrera,
Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot about Milky.
had faith in him, dropped him, brought him back up.
Yeah, that's true.
I loved when they brought him back.
Yeah,
They've made Greg Allen, like you said, steps up, takes charge. They've made so many moves. The move with Mejia to solidify the
Fix what
back
they
of the
needed.
bullpen,
Yeah.
even if Miller and Allen leave next year.
yeah,
Spent money on Donaldson. I don't know how they pulled that trade off, but
yeah.
New York and Boston are trying to figure it out too.
I think we're a better team.
Yeah.
And I can tell Kipnis isn't happy,
No,
but he's a team man.
yeah,
Yeah.
He hits a home run and runs around the bases. He's
Yeah.
show them.
Yeah. Right. One other thing I got on that disappointing list, did you think the offense was inconsistent? They could ignite in a hurry for 12, 13 runs and then go a couple games and struggle to score. What do you guys think about that?
I don't think it's uncommon for any team to go through that. I mean, if we were watching the Dodgers, or they all have their peaks and valleys, and I don't know what causes
Except for
it.
maybe Boston.
Yeah, except for
Yeah.
Boston.
What do you think, Mike?
yeah. Maybe just a little bit. They put up some low numbers. They ideally like to see the 5 to 6 run range, more so than the 12 run this night, 0,
Yeah.
one run this night. So they seem to have a few low numbers and then a few high numbers, but overall I think they seem to do. They were pretty consistent through the whole year.
It seemed like they would hit the good pitchers that they were
Yeah,
facing
yeah,
and
they did,
struggled against those soft tossers.
They do, yeah.
Soft tossers.
They make bad pitchers look good.
Yeah, they do.
A lot of times.
Yeah. Bill, the Indians, of course, coasted, had no issues July on. Is that a good thing going into the playoffs, a bad thing, or is it insignificant?
Well, it's a good thing. Get time to rest people. Get time to play around your rotation, different situations. See how some of your relievers handle certain situations, putting them in different roles. I think it works out great.
Mike?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing. As long as they're playing well, as long as they're not hurting themselves, as long as they're playing good, solid baseball. Like last night, for example, I was listening to the game. They were up 4-2 against Chicago. Carrasco was still in the game, and Tom Hamilton said, well, he's going to win it or lose it because he was only at 75 pitches, and Francona wanted to get him work. So they really didn't have anybody in the bullpen. They ended up losing 5-4, which didn't really matter. So Francona's playing it like,
Sure.
still playing it like it matters, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
So as long as they're continuing to do the things that they want to do to get ready for the playoffs, I think that's a good thing.
Mike, who's your Indians player of the year? I think you kind of said
I
Brantley
think
was your MVP.
Yeah, I think I got Brantley because we were sitting here last year talking about, do we sign Bruce or Santana to multiple year contracts? Well, they signed neither one, and neither one of them really did much for their particular teams this year. And Brantley comes back to his MVP type form, and without him, who knows where this team is this year? So.
Especially when he got bumped up to the number 2 hole.
Yeah, so my vote goes for Brantley.
Bill, what about you, Indians player of the year?
Even though he's slumping right now, I gotta go with Jose.
Mm-hmm.
He's the spark, and I hopefully we'll see it next month.
Can we make a case for Francisco Lindor?
Yeah, always.
Sure.
Can we make a case for Corey Kluber?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Trevor Bauer? Or didn't he get enough time in?
Yeah, I think you can. If he doesn't miss a month, who knows how many more wins he gets, and he gets a few more wins maybe. So I would say so.
Next question. Bill, how much do you read into how the Indians did against Houston, Oakland, and the Yankees? They finished under 500 against all three of those teams. Did finish above 500 against Boston. They were 3-4 against Houston, 2-4 against Oakland, 2-5 against the Yankees. How much do you read into that if they face those teams in the postseason? Well, they are going to face Houston.
I don't read much into it. I think you go to October and nobody
game.
remembers that.
Yeah.
Mike?
I agree. I mean, it's certainly nice to say you've beaten Boston, won the series against Boston, but like Bill said, it's wiped the slate clean, and it's 0-0, as the old cliche goes, and it's a 5-game series, and you go at it, and best team's going to win.
Free agency, of course, we're going to lose maybe some players like Brantley, Cody Allen, Andrew Miller, Josh Donaldson, Melky Cabrera. If you could keep one player, Bill, if the Indians management told you, we'll keep one of those players, who would it be? Who would you want to keep? Brantley, Cody Allen, Andrew Miller, Josh Donaldson, or Melky Cabrera?
That's a tough one.
It is a tough one.
If you could count on Donaldson being healthy.
Interesting question.
It is very interesting.
Yeah,
if
Donaldson was healthy, it'd be an obvious
So your
choice.
pick would be Josh Donaldson.
Yeah.
Mike?
I'm sticking with Brantley.
Michael Brantley.
I just think with his consistency over the years with this team, I just think he does a lot for this team, and I'm going with him.
Excellent choices. I'm going to go along with Bill, though, on Donaldson, only because I don't think Kipnis is going to be with the team next year.
I would agree.
That's my opinion.
I would agree.
And I think that opens Ramirez to stay at second, but Donaldson's going to cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's
Cleveland
going to
ain't
cost
pay
a
it,
lot
so
of money.
Isn't going to pay it.
Yeah.
Mike, if we do lose Brantley, and Zimmer comes back healthy, are you going after a left fielder, or are you going to move Greg Allen there?
I think you need to go after a left fielder, because if you have Zimmer and Allen, they're two pretty much the same type of player. Speed guys that can do wonders on the bases and with defense, but you need some type of power guy in left field to take some pressure off with the bat in the lineup. So I think you need some type of power guy in left.
Bill?
I agree, and I don't think you're going to see Zimmer reminds me of Grady Sizemore,
Yeah.
and I just think he's going to be injury prone, just by the way he plays.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah.
I mean, he's not afraid to dive.
What was
in
his
the
injury
walls.
this year?
He ran into the wall at Yankee Stadium.
So it's a shoulder injury?
Yeah.
Is that what he had? No, last year was the hand, wasn't it?
Yeah, when he slid into first
Yeah,
base.
that's right.
He's a reckless player,
Yeah,
but that's the way he plays.
He's fun to watch.
That's just the way he is.
I'm enjoying watching Greg Allen right now myself.
Allen just seems like really intelligent out there.
He does.
Seems to know what he's doing and does it smartly.
He's a base stealer.
Base stealer.
He's a defensive wizard.
Yeah.
He's coming on, like you said, Mike, in his hitting.
Yeah.
Clutch hitting.
Clutching. Yeah. So, yeah, I hope Zimmer comes back, but I like Bill. I question whether he will be.
And we all have forgotten about Tyler Naquin.
Yeah, we have.
Bill's buddy. Is that your buddy, Bill? No, Chisenhall was your buddy.
I don't even know if he's my
Oh,
buddy.
no, Zach McAllister was your buddy. That's who it was.
Well, and Naquin, he had a severe hamstring or
Yep.
hip or something.
Hip surgery, I believe.
And Hamilton said he may be out for extended period of
Yeah.
time. So who knows?
Before we get into the roster for the postseason, I got to ask this question. Edwin Encarnacion, we got him for another year?
Yes.
2 years.
2 more years yet? Was it a
Trying to
4-year
three-
thing?
3 years. Yeah.
Is this
Okay.
year 2?
This is year 2.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
one
one
more.
more. Yeah.
He had his
Might be
30 homers and his 100 RBIs.
Yeah.
Were they quiet?
Very.
I thought they were really quiet.
Yeah.
I think there were many times he came up and just killed rallies.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't believe he's at that 30 home run mark and 100 RBIs.
Yeah. It seemed very quiet. It seemed like he had a lot of home runs to give the Indians, like a 2-0 lead or a 3-0 lead or something like that. And it didn't seem like a lot of clutch RBIs, but
Maybe when he ran around all the bases in that first week of the season, it tired him out for the whole
But
year.
wasn't Santana much like that the year
yeah,
before?
Santana was a lot like that.
That leads
too.
me to a good question. Bill, you just brought that up. No difference. Santana Alonso? I don't see any difference.
No, I didn't either.
One way or the other.
No.
About the same
I think
average.
I think Carlos was a better defender.
Yeah, maybe slightly.
Slightly. Yeah, not enough to. Not a significant amount.
I think he was slightly better defensively on ground balls, but on throws to first, he was too short. He couldn't reach some of those high throws. All right, postseason coming up, as we said, it's going to start October 5th in Houston,
Yep.
over on TBS. We don't know the time of those games, but so the tough decisions come now. Bill, who's in your outfield?
Oh, my outfield consists of Brantley, Kipnis, Cabrera. I'm carrying Geyer and Greg Allen.
Geyer and Greg Allen, so that means Rajay Davis is out. And is that it? Is that the only outfielder that's out?
Of any
Off
significance,
your list?
yes.
Okay. Mike, what about your outfield?
I would agree with that list. I like Rajay, but you got to go with the younger Allen, I think.
Will Terry keep both of them, Davis and Allen?
I can't imagine
Can't imagine either.
having 3 extra outfielders.
Yeah.
Mike, who's on the infield roster for you?
We got, of course, Alonso, Jose, Lindor, Donaldson. You're going to have to help me with some of these other names here since I
You
came,
got,
since
Eric
I came from
Gonzalez.
unprepared.
Eric Gonzalez,
Uh,
Yandy Diaz. Who else spells are the infielders that
Well,
have?
you got Kip, you could use this.
Oh, and Kip.
if
You got
wanted- if you
Kipnis,
wanted to use
Gonzalez, and
Yandy.
Diaz. Now, you're not going to have all 3 of those. Well, you know Kipnis is going to be there.
So we're talking
Diaz
and Gonzalez.
Gonzalez.
Well, I tell you, I really like Diaz.
Yeah, I do too.
Um,
Right-handed bat, good hitter, but he can't play in the
right.
field except for third, maybe first.
Yeah.
I see. They've had him at first a little bit.
And Gonzalez, he's a good defender. That's a tough one. I guess I'm gonna have to go with Gonzalez, just because he's more versatile with his positions and more of a defender. So I'm gonna go with Gonzalez.
Bill, what's your infield roster looking like?
Well, I've got the same, except I'm taking Yandy.
Okay.
I'm taking Yandy. I think they're leaning that way because he's getting a little more playing time.
Mm-hmm.
Gauss and Eric's kind of dropping down.
Are you also leaning toward Yandy because for short and second, where Diaz can't play those spots?
Well,
Well, Kipnis can come in and play
Kip can
second.
come play second.
Yeah.
I'm looking at if Donaldson goes down for whatever reason.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
So
Good point.
probably be the only place he would play.
Yeah.
But
yeah. That's going to be interesting because you hear it both ways. I've heard they might keep both Davis and Allen, and then that cuts out your
Right.
infield choices as well.
Yeah.
Bullpen, Bill.
the obvious: Han, Allen, Miller, Otero, Olson, and I'm taking Tomlin because I think he's going to be taken. I'm leaving the Sidewinder off.
Ooh, Simmer.
Ooh.
Yeah, he hasn't been that effective lately. I don't know if he's ready for prime time.
You
Interesting.
also left somebody else out. I can't believe you did. Oliver Perez.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't mean to say his name. He's not scratched
I
out.
also-
Yes, Oliver Perez.
I also left Simber off my roster.
did?
I did.
Wow.
What about Tomlin?
Oh no, he's out. I
Well,
don't have him on my
logic
roster.
tells you he's
But
out.
I think Tito's going to have him. I just have that hunch. No, I don't have that hunch. I think Tito's
Yeah.
not going to do it.
What?
I don't think he's going to put Tomlin on that
I
roster.
think he is.
At least not on the ALD roster. You know, if they move to the next round, they can add people. What do you think, Mike?
I think they're going to. I think Simber's going to be on it. I think.
Yeah. Well,
I think Tomlin's going to be off.
I think Tomlin's going to come in and mop up. He may not even play, but he's going to be on the roster.
now also, Bill, why Mike's thinking there, you picked Olsen, Perez, Miller, and who else? There's 3
Otero.
left-handers. Did you pick 4 left-handers?
There might be 4 left-handers in there.
Miller, Olsen, Perez.
Or do they only have 3?
I think they only have 3.
Okay.
Hand.
Oh yeah, Hand.
He's
I
left-handed?
I'm not sure
I
why.
thought he was right-handed.
No, Hand is left.
He's left-handed
Yeah.
too.
That's 4 lefties. Yeah.
Yeah, Hand, Miller.
I don't think he's going to keep 4 left-handed relievers.
I don't either.
So get Olsen out of there, Bill. Unfortunately.
Although he's been pitching well lately.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah,
Been,
he has.
He has been pitching well lately. And don't forget. Well, Mike, what about
I don't
your bullpen?
I don't see why he would keep Otero. I really don't. But he probably will. I would take Simber over Otero.
That would be a big. I mean, you realize Simmer's just a kid yet.
Oh yeah, I understand that.
I had heard though that Francona will keep Simber on that roster to get him ready for 2019. Get him that experience.
Okay.
Although I still agree with you, Bill. I don't think Simber's going to be on my roster. Not my postseason roster, but neither is Otero.
You know, if he was like Smith from last year, that's the guy we need.
Neither one of you got Bieber in the bullpen.
No. Guess we don't.
Gotta have some right-handers in the bullpen. Well, you got Simber.
You know, because he was technically as a starter, but yeah, he would be in the bullpen. He's not lined out, so Bieber would be in there also.
So Terry wants to go with 4 starters.
Plutko is not, by the way.
Yeah,
Plutko's
Plutko's
not.
he's gone. Yeah.
Too inconsistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Terry's going with 4 starters in this first round, or is it 3?
I can see him go with 3.
So
Yeah.
Kluber game 1, Carrasco game 2.
And Bauer.
Would you go with Bauer or would you go,
Well,
you go Clevenger?
Oh, well, if Bauer's right, that's a no-brainer.
Well,
I'm going with Bauer.
He's not going to give you a full game.
No, but he can give me 5, and I can get Bieber in for 1, and then go to the big 3.
Okay.
Well, and I don't know if he'll go Kluber 1 because
Oh, he didn't do that last year.
He didn't do that last
Yeah,
year.
he played a
and
trick
and
on us.
It worked for the first 2 games. Then the last 3, it worked for the first 2. It depends on how healthy Bauer is.
Carrasco's an excellent pitcher on the road,
Yes, he is.
and Bauer's an excellent pitcher on the road.
So he may go Bauer, Carrasco, Kluber. He may.
Interesting. Indians win the series, Bill? The first series with Houston?
Yeah.
How many
How
games?
far are they going? I say in 4.
Mike?
I'm going to say yes in 4 as well.
Okay, then who are they going to play, Bill? New York, Oakland, or Boston?
I think Boston's too strong to.
Who do you want them to play?
I want him to play Boston.
Mike?
Yeah, I say Boston as well. Yeah.
Has you got them winning the ALCS?
I do not know.
Bill?
Boy, my heart says yes, but I'm saying no.
So we don't need to ask you about the World Series. So what 2 teams are going to the series? I got Yankees and Cubs. Cubs could be in trouble winning that Central Division. They see the Brewers only half the game
Brewers
back.
right on their tail
Boy, that's a tough one.
with Jesus Aguilar, ex-Indian,
right,
leading
that's
the way with 35 home
Who
runs.
couldn't get it out of the infield for us.
Yeah.
I would go with Red Sox and Cubs.
Red Sox and Cubs. Bill? Bill doesn't look like he likes the Cubs this year.
I'm thinking Red Sox, maybe Dodgers.
Red Sox and Dodgers, that would be a good
The
choice.
National League, you just don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so up in the air, and the American League is so stacked.
It is. That's-
Any one of the 5 teams can go and wouldn't be a surprise. In the National League, you just don't know.
So none of us are picking the Indians to go all the way, although in our hearts we want them to go all the
Well,
way.
we picked them last year to go, and they lost in the
Yeah,
first
so
round.
let's try
so.
something different.
Let's try something
Hoover got
different.
shelled. And,
Yeah.
Nobody expected that.
No,
Yeah.
no. So
And they even had the home field, right?
yeah, so
So this year they don't get the home
reversal
field.
of fortune, hopefully.
We'll close with just another topic only because you got that. How excited are you that the Browns got a win?
Very. I mean, I was shocked actually that they did it, and obviously Baker's the man from now on. I don't think there's any question or no turning back, and it's Baker's team, and build around him, and hopefully we can get some more ones.
Can they beat the Raiders?
Yeah, I think they can.
Bill?
I'm liking what I'm seeing.
And they were in the
They've been they realistically it could be 3-0.
yeah, they were in the first 2 games. They should have won, could have won the first 2. So hopefully with Baker's, it's only 1 game. Teams will get film on him and so on and so forth. But he seems like the type of guy that can adjust accordingly, and all he has to do is get the ball to the guys and let them go. And the thing I noticed about Tyrod is he just was very hesitant back there and very slow, and Baker just gets the ball out so quick. So hopefully he can continue to do that.
And here's my final question, and it's a controversial question. Did Tyrod Taylor fake the injury, or is it a legitimate injury?
I think it was legitimate.
Mike?
I think it was legitimate.
You
too.
do?
Yeah.
I don't think he's that type of player.
No, I don't either. No.
He's a competitor, but they were throwing him around like a rag doll towards the end.
Yeah, and their line was still not great in the first couple games at least. So he just was way back there, just too long, deciding what to do.
Well, go Indians, go Browns.
Go Buckeyes.
And next thing we know, the Cavaliers will
Go
be coming
Cavs.
up here.
Yeah.
They just had media day the other day.
That's another topic.
Another topic for
Another day.
Bill Kehoe, Mike Greco, sports editor of the Star Beacon, talking postseason baseball with the Indians today on Around the Town with Chuck.